Well, good evening, everybody. How is everybody's evening going thus far? This is Monday night. This is Toypixx. This is the time when we talk about all the photogenic figures that have gone up for pre-order in the last week, at least all the things I consider photogenic, and then you guys can get to fire off too. Hey, this is the stuff that we saw that we thought is really cool. So for the replay crew, what is it you've seen in the past week that you're going to want to pick up so you can take some killer shots of figures? You know, pictures for figures, pictures of figures. These are the words that I'm looking for today. And one more thing, guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's one of those days where I need this chat. You know, those days where like you have it planned out, you know exactly what you're going to do all day. And then you have to deal with stuff all day that you weren't supposed to have to deal with. That has been today. So you have no idea how stoked I am to get to sit here and chat these figures with you, especially when I look back on the last week and I'm like, holy crap, that's coming out. That's coming out. That's coming out. Oh, it's a good week. So now, let's chat to the people in the chat. Woo, AR. We got early starts here, folks. Awesome sauce. No Luke. No Luke yet. No Luke yet. I'm telling you, I think something's happened because suddenly everybody's starting to be like, oh, how about some original trilogy? And that Vader, anyway, is a new figure. Kind of. I am your father. Maybe he's not totally new. He's probably a bit of a redo from the Obi-Wan Vader. I think SHF did an Obi-Wan Vader. No. Oh no, Luke's all mad because you know, are you playing out the whole scene? Your father? I don't know why I went German there. Your father now. There were I got nothing now. Now I'm lost. I'm thinking Spaceball somehow. Not the mama. We've got a little that had nothing to do with what you just typed, but for whatever reason, Baby Sinclair is what popped into my head there. Oh dear. All right. I've been watching too much reality TV. Get off it, man. Not the reality TV. That's one of the things. For the people I know, they're like, oh, man, I had to do it. I had to watch this reality thing. And then they start telling you about it. And they're going, no, I can't do this anymore. Let's see. You okay? I'm good, John. I'm good. It wasn't anything that was like crazy bad or anything like that. It was just one of those things where you've got the whole day figured out and then there's other stuff that just keeps cropping up. I am alive somehow. Good man. All right. Well, let's hop into it. Just because I actually prepared, I actually have pictures pulled up and ready to go. And if we want to dig deeper, we can check out some other stuff, some other sites. Where were we here? Here we go. Oh boy. Okay, now some of this stuff I know we've seen already, but I still want to chat about a little bit. Obviously, McFarlane's not exactly my cup of tea, but when he busts out Batmobiles, I see those things, and I'm kind of like, okay, I could see this being kind of cool. Of course, my problem is if you buy this Batmobile, is it going to be colored properly? Or are you going to get, I don't know, a gray canopy and then they'll sell the better one somewhere later on down the line? I'm not sure. That's the big thing with McFarlane is for as long as he's been doing this stuff, you literally never know what you're going to get as far as articulation's concerned with the figures, as far as paint with the vehicles. They can show the pretty promo shots, but that's not necessarily the way things always come out. Still, if it comes out looking like this, I do think that's kind of a cool look for the Batmobile. I mean, a little fork-ish, I suppose. And I do prefer the look of the '89 Batmobile. But I don't hate this. I like that the Batmobile has gone through a lot of iterations over the years. I do think it looks good. And if I were the guy to just start going nuts and I had like, if I had like one of those, 8 foot long tables that you often see at shows, conventions, stuff like that, I might be somebody to be like, okay, every 1/12 scale Batmobile that comes out is getting put on this table. That would make me kind of happy, actually. I think that was pretty cool. Of course, my Mafex Batmans would be populating all those Batmobiles, but yeah, that would be something I definitely consider because I'm sick in the head when it comes to things like Batmobiles. And now, let's move more into the classic figure style of Shazam and Freddy and, more McFarlane stuff. I believe we're looking at repaints because I think McFarlane did the Shazam before, and now he's just dirty Shazam holding a mop or maybe a broomstick. Maybe he's supposed to fly like a witch. I don't know. I didn't see Shazam Fury of the Gods, so I don't know what's going on with that. And generally, I wouldn't show figures without them having a bunch of extra parts. So here he is. Yeah, that's something. It just looks like kind of blobs of black paint on Shazam, doesn't it? Freddy's not quite as bad, but he's a little burned too. This is why I show something like this. There are accessories. There are extra hands. They're missing extra heads. But again, when it comes to McFarlane, you can see what you're going to get with the figure. I just don't know what you're going to get as far as articulation because of the construction that they've always used for these things. So, it's kind of a toss-up. If you like McFarlane's stuff, I would recommend this just because they've got all the hands and they've got a bunch of accessories. Well, 2 accessories there. But what's key about that is the more stuff they've got along those lines, the more things you can set up when it comes to photos. So that is why I would actually recommend this if you're into McFarlane figures. Just all the craziness there. What do you have, Mr. Spencer? Batmobile is cool. Shazam? Meh. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I still wish that I knew that the Batmobile was going to come out okay. But yeah, when it comes to Shazam, I'm kind of just definitely like you. But I'm like that with any movie figure, and I'm like that with a lot of McFarlane figures. Now, you'll see the exception to that rule when it comes to movie figures are things like Indiana Jones and Star Wars, stuff that came out that started out as movies. That tends to be the way that I like to think of them that way. So anyway, we're going to jump down to this guy who I have no idea. Choden Kodo Kato Anubis. Yeah, I don't know what he's from. I just know he looks cool. So I grabbed a few pictures of this dude. And of course, this kind of picture always is kind of fun just because, I talk about Mezco using a lot of Photoshop in their photos. Obviously, there's a touch of Photoshop going on here too, but you also get like those plain pictures that shows you exactly what's going on with the figure. And what's going on with this figure, this thing can move. I think that is really cool. So yeah, anybody knows anything about this person, let me know what's up, because this is going to be another good one when it comes to your photos. And overall, there's a lot of dark clothing there, which is pretty much a photo cheat, as you all well know if you've been watching for a bit. See, Samurai Dude is kind of cool. That's pretty much where I'm at as far as, yeah, this is what this guy's name is. I just know nothing. I just know he looks cool. Let's see. Heyo Gunstar. Thanks for stopping in, man. Any clue what this guy is? Like, I typed his name, but I have no idea what he's from. I probably should have looked that stuff up a little more. Still, very cool figure. And if anybody does know what this is and they're into it, hey, you've got a figure there that's probably going to look really good under your lights and in front of your lens. Beveraging. It's just tea. It's just tea, but I'll still count it as beveraging. And then we've got Rocker Alf from NECA. I'm the right age. Like, I'm supposed to be really excited about Alf, and I did watch some Alf, but I just never got way into Alf for whatever reason. Still, when NECA busts out these figures, this just looks like a blast. And I don't know what anybody else thinks. I don't know how many of you are loading up on Alf figures, but NECA's put out, what is this, the third or fourth one? But this one's pretty rad. He almost has the Springsteen thing going on. I should have saved some more pics because he's got all kinds of different looks. Like at one point, he's playing the horn here. And then these glasses almost give him an Elton John kind of look. Like it's just craziness. He might be somebody that we go back or that I go back to and find more pictures of him just so you can see him a little more. But as you can see here, obviously with NECA, you're going to get a lot of texture with these figures, which is always nice. You're getting tons of accessories, plenty of hands, an extra head. I mean, yeah, if you're into Alf, and I've heard only good things about the first Alf figure that they made. So if you're into Alf, this thing is probably right up your alley. It just looks really good. And photogenic. Alf, heck yeah. Geez. Geez. I keep things so PG, but I might have said things. Probably not there. Mr. Element, hello, man. Thank you for stopping by. What are you thinking of Alf here? Alf's looking good to me. I don't know. Not good enough for me to pick up because I'm just not into Alf, but I think the look is great. It'll be my third Alf. Nice, Mr. Spencer. He does look really cool. And I always get really stoked when I see people excited about some of this stuff, even if it's not necessarily my thing. Looks great. Yeah. I'm a big fan of this Alf. And I don't know if he was announced before or not, but I haven't been paying as much attention as I should be. See, I think I got the first release. Nice. Because yeah, you're probably one that has said, yeah, that first release is pretty rad. All right. Let's pop in. What do I have next here? Then we've got Chucky, the holiday edition. And yeah. I've actually never seen a Child's Play movie. But then I was never a horror guy. I had somebody that worked with me that she said, you have to watch Halloween. You watch Halloween, you'll never need to see another horror movie as long as you live. I watched Halloween. I loved the suspense in it. I thought it was very cool. And with that said, yeah, she's probably right. I probably don't need to watch another Halloween or another scary movie as long as I live. But I love the looks of a lot of the freaky stuff. I did see Scream way back when it first came out, and I thought that Ghostface had a cool look, but it wasn't like, oh man, I need a figure of that. Although the more NECA throws out stuff like that, the more I start to think, like I talked to you guys a while back about feeling like I need to get kind of pop culture type characters, just moments in time that were big time with pop culture. Ghostface is obviously huge in pop culture. Chucky is obviously huge in pop culture. So these are figures that I probably need to consider picking up. But I've got my eyes on other stuff. But yeah, check out all this stuff that Chucky comes with as well. Chucky comes with a chainsaw. And there's a coffee mug there. Maybe I need Chucky just for the accessories and the total freakiness of the character itself, because that thing's just freaky. I don't know. But again, in the last couple of years, I've become a pretty big NECA fan. So we'll see. We'll see what I start loading up when it comes to NECA. What I start loading up on. Alf and Chester Cheetah are fighting to be my favorite figure of the year. I mean, Chester's much more well, I don't know. I was gonna say Chester's much more dangerous because he comes with like a giant Cheeto that he can just clock Alf with, but Alf will totally eat cats. So if you look at it like that, Chester better not fall asleep when he's around Alf or sleep with one eye open, that kind of thing. You don't keep them on the same shelf, do you? Because that's bad news. Alf would just walk up to him, put him between like two huge like submarine rolls and just start munching. And Chester would be far less dangerously cheesy if that happened. I think Alien is the closest to a horror movie that I'll watch. Not my jam. Yeah, they're just not my thing. But I haven't seen Alien either, and I need to see Alien. Like, I know I need to see that. That just looks cool. Because, I mean, horror with aliens is different than horror with, like, what horror usually is. Horror with aliens is like, oh, he's got a sweater that has potential. This is true. And the Santa hat, too. Ooh, the Santa hat. The Santa hat. Yeah, there you go. The Santa hat could be really cool. You can put that on all kinds of figures, maybe, too. Oh, man. I'm seeing you buy Chucky for the freakiness, but then you get the ugly sweater type stuff and the Santa hat for your other figures. Ooh. Let's see. Yep. Oh, here's a chainsaw. You know what they need? They need the characters like Santa from, Santa from the beginning of Scrooged. Sorry, what was it? Something like, this is one Santa that's going out the front door. And he's got a big machine gun just ready to go level the bad guys. What was it? Oh man, somebody see Santa's workshop. And only Lee Majors can say. Sorry, anyway, I'm going with Scrooged on this. How does Chucky get a working doll-sized chainsaw? I have no idea. Maybe it's a really small chainsaw. I don't know. How tall is Chucky supposed to be? Like 4 feet, 3 feet? I should have looked that up probably. Chuckles and Sergeant Slaughter keep the peace between Alf and Chester. Awesome. Because, yeah, you definitely, I don't know, man. Alf is cagey. I'd still want to make sure that Chester was kind of looking out, like kind of sleep with one eye open or stay somewhere where Alf can't necessarily get him. Like Chester could maybe sleep in a tree and just keep his eye open because I can't see Alf scaling a tree very easily. Though I could be wrong. Like I say, I watched some Alf, but I didn't watch a lot of Alf. All right, then we've got the Casey Jones and Foot Soldier 2-pack, and we knew about this way back when, so I'm not really showing you anything you haven't seen already. But it's cool to see that it's out there now. I'm pretty stoked about that for all you Toon people, because I'm not really a Toon Turtle guy, but I recognize that that's probably one of the most comprehensive action figure lines that's ever been made. So if you're a Toon Turtle guy, you probably want to pick this up. And I do like check the Foot Soldier out here. I like that they keep finding new ways to make the foot soldiers so it's not just like a static foot soldier army. Like you still get a bunch of opportunities to get your basic foot soldier, which is what I like. But still, if I had a few of these mixed in, that would be awesome. Just like totally beat up foot soldiers. They've got the one, what was it? Is it the foot soldier from Last Ronin that looks like it's almost separated from like the two halves, like the upper and lower half? There's wire exposed or something. I don't know. Anyway, I think that this kind of thing's a good look. I'm pretty stoked for the people that are into the Toon Turtles because of stuff like this. I think Chester, let's see, Chester's in the vamp right now and Alf's too big to fit in. I totally, we need to see pics of Chester driving the vamp. That's good stuff. That's a good visual. And then we've got this Usagi, I believe, and I should have looked at him a little closer. He's got, let's see, I think he's mostly a repaint of the one that came in the 4-pack, but I didn't look close enough at the faces before I got on here, so I'm not sure. Now, being in Ann Arbor, I'm a big fan of the color scheme, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I love that Usagi 4-pack. So if you didn't get a chance to get it and you like this color scheme, I think this is a really cool figure to go in on. And obviously, Usagi comes with plenty of things. That's just the NECA way. It's kind of like NECA and Mezco take their accessories incredibly seriously. And hopefully, what NECA is going to start doing is getting a little more serious with their articulation. I've seen signs where it looks like they're doing it. I just want them to push it a little further. All right, and then we have Baxter. Now, for me, the Mirage line is what I'm really stoked about. And seeing Baxter Stockman here, oh, this makes me happy. I want these badly. The Mirage Studios stuff, it's kind of funny because I started with the Toon stuff. I didn't know about, well, I think I did know about the comics, but I started with the Toon Turtles. But what really got me stoked about the Turtles was later on when I read reprints or even online of the original Mirage Studios Turtle comics. I thought they were fantastic. And I really liked what they did with the Turtles. It's the dumbest thing ever, but in the comics, the Turtles weren't into pizza at all, but you always saw them try and sneak a beer, which I thought was hilarious because teenagers. I just found it funny. And I don't know who all caught it, but like they'd be on another world or something, and they'd be almost in a lounge setting or a bar setting or something, and people are ordering their stuff. And one of the turtles would inevitably just say, beer? Just to see if they could get a beer or whatever. I always found that really funny about Mirage Studios. And it was a little more serious and all the stuff, but yet they were put in sort of wackier situations, like going to the Triceraton homeworld and all. Anyway, I could nerd out forever about the Mirage Studios Turtles, and I feel like I should because I'm looking at a very cool Baxter Stockman figure here. Let's see, Mr. Martinez, Que pasa? Thank you for stopping by, man. We're just talking the good stuff, or what I think's the good stuff so far. LBZ, yo, man, thanks for stopping by. By the way, I did see you ask if I'm getting that Vader. I really want to get that Vader, so I'll probably end up getting that Vader. I can't believe that they showed off a New Hope stuff from SHF. I'll get more into that when we get to talking about those things, but I'm totally lost right now on what to do with my Star Wars collecting. I know I'm not happy with what Hasbro puts out as far as accessory counts and all that, and I'd be far more happy with SHF, but then Mafex is throwing out Forlom. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. So, but like I say, we'll get more into that here in a minute. Let's see. Mirage figures are so long overdue. Oh, yeah. And I love what I've got. I don't have tons yet, but Zog is a masterpiece. And the Mirage Turtles, man, those are so good. Casey Jones, if Casey Jones didn't have that waist twist, he'd be such a great figure. And again, that Usagi 4-pack, even though that's not technically Turtles, you mix your standard Usagi in with your Turtles, and it's just awesome. Like, I love the Mirage Turtles run. Gotta get more into all that stuff. Mr. Spencer, I agree. I'm out on Hasbro Star Wars, except at deep discount. Yep, yep. I'm not sure I'd even go for that. Mr. McDysentery. Got the rest of my Pizza Club bros today, and my Holothon 2024 adventure is complete. Achievement unlocked. Tell us about those things. I haven't been paying enough attention. Those are the ones that are like they're kind of the ultimate turtles, right? Of the Toon Turtles. What all did they come with that was crazy? I want to know. I haven't been keeping up with those like I should, but those are the ones that I would probably consider getting if I were to get some Toon Turtles. Ooh, excuse me. Also, send the pics you requested to you on Instagram. Mr. Spencer, I appreciate it. I will check them out. I swear I'm going to get some time to do that stuff a lot more here shortly. I think I'm getting things worked out. And then here we go with the stuff that Baxter comes with. He's got his Mouser, of course, which I'm stoked about. He's got the old school computer. I believe those are floppy drives even we've got going on. And we got the remote. Looks like the remote for the Mouser. This just makes me happy. But now, the star of the Mirage show, as far as I'm concerned, is right here. Who doesn't want a Jack Kirby action figure? I mean, we're all figure nerds here. There are plenty of people out there that don't want a Jack Kirby action figure. But many of us are figure nerds who came into it via being comic book nerds. And I think we all know who this guy is. This guy, in fact, is the king. This guy is the man. And I know that there's always a throwdown a little bit between Stan Lee versus Jack Kirby and all that stuff and all that. You know, Stan wrote him. Jack created insanely cool visuals. And then Stan went on and really promoted the crap out of comic books. So I don't know who you give more credit to. I think when it comes to the public's awareness of how cool comic books are, I think you give more of the credit to Stan Lee, only because he was out there doing a lot of promoting in the field. But at the time, I'm sure when you went to find a book, you were looking for Jack Kirby art because the man's just that good. So yeah, I don't take anything away from either of them. I know people want to throw down, like I said. I didn't know either of them. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, that guy sucked and that guy was awesome and this guy did everything and that guy did nothing. So, you know, I'm always careful about forming opinions about various people. I will say they're very evil dictators in the past that I would not have wanted to hang out with. Like Genghis Khan, I probably wouldn't have wanted to hang out with that guy, you know? But I can see where I would have loved hanging out with Jack Kirby and Stan Lee just because of the creativity and just because they both reached the top of their field. Like, I've always been fascinated by the people who make it to the very top of whatever it is they do. So that would have been very cool to talk to those guys. Anyway, that's my Jack Kirby chat just before everybody wants to go in and throw down about Stan versus Jack. He, of course, has the pencil. He's got the notepad. He's got the, what was that thing called that he gave to Don? Oh, the thing that wraps around Don's arm. I can't even remember. But then he's got one of his drawings there. Yeah, Jack here is a necessity for sure. Let's see. I only got one thing from Holothon, but I think you're going to cover that later. We shall see. We shall see. You might need to let me know. It might be that I don't. So I don't know. We'll see what's up. Maybe not. So let's know. Let me know here, John. Hold on. Let me go back. I thought the king there was the last thing I had going there. Speaking of turtles, I'm really kicking myself for not getting those Mezco turtles. They look fantastic. You know what? I'm kicking myself a little bit too. When they were first announced, I swear, in fact, I know the listing said they were 6.5 inches tall. So I thought, there's no way I want giant turtles, so I'm totally good. And then they came out, and they're about the perfect size. So yeah, I am kicking myself for not getting those as well, man. I'm right there with you. Mr. McDysentery. Ultimates isn't a good term for them. They come with less heads and hands than the Disguise Pack, but the dark matte finish looks much better, and the other Holothon sets have more head and hand options. Really? That's surprising. I mean, they look good. I've seen some images, but I haven't really stayed on top of it, you know? Yeah, the Mezco turtles look so great, but I can only get so much. Yeah, I hear you there too. I got Kirby King this weekend, just waiting for him to deliver. Nice. Ironic Bionic. Hey, been a while. What's up? What's going on with you, man? We're just talking the cool stuff that we've seen in the past week. What did you see out there that you thought was really cool for photos? That Kirby fig should have came with some crackle effects. Oh, you were not wrong. Oh, a little bit of Kirby crackle, just even a little background of crackle for the little drawing guy that he has. That might be a job for basically any of the 3D guys out there, the 3D printers. Ironic Bionic. Yeah, that would have rocked. Yep, I agree. And I'm kind of kicking myself for not even thinking about it. It was Kirby King. I love that comic. Just a good tribute homage. Yeah, Jax. Yeah. Good call. I'm glad I covered it for you. I'm really hoping that Hasbro puts out a Jack Kirby Marvel Legends fig. Man. Ah, man. I wonder what the rights are with the estate. Like, I wonder if Marvel went into Jack Kirby's estate and said, hey, how do you feel about us using the king for an action figure? And maybe the estate's like, yeah, all right, cool beans. But maybe they're also like, I don't know. It would just, I mean, I'm sure it just depends on what the family wants to do. As it is, I'm kind of thinking I have Stan Lee and now I'll have a Jack Kirby. So it'll be cool to have those two figures on the shelf together. I'll even put them way back when so they're not throwing down. They're actually just enjoying each other. Hanging out like the good old days. All right, now here's the thing, folks. I didn't look at these close enough to try and figure out if they were repaints. What I found these on Toyark, and all Toyark said is, we know nothing. These are images that they released, and that's what we've got. So I don't know if these are repaints. I don't know if they're totally new to celebrate A New Hope, to celebrate the original trilogy. I don't know, but here's where I'm stuck. Now, obviously, SH Figuarts have put out what I think many would consider the cream of the crop Star Wars action figures. And they started those, 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. My greatest action figure collecting regret is that I didn't get in on the SHF Star Wars figures, because that's it, man. They're the cream of the crop. They're the best there is right now. So I'm looking at these going, do I need to go back now and get the older ones? Or should I wait till these are released more? And they've got all those Empire Strikes Back prototypes out there too. Are they going to start trying to use those, update the articulation a bit, and give us an SHF Yoda from Empire Strikes Back? Like, what are the plans for the future of the SHF Star Wars line? That's what I want to know, because also Mafex, like we talked about, what was it, last week or the week before, is coming out with an Empire Strikes Back 4-LOM. So now I'm like, ooh, Disney, is loosening the reins a little bit when it comes to what they're going to allow people to make. And now I love Mafex. SHF Star Wars is pretty good. I've got the Return of the Jedi Vader and the Mandalorian Luke, and they're pretty good. They're not perfect, and most of the time when I get a Mafex figure, it's perfect. So that's where I'm stuck. Like, okay, Mafex will take forever also to release a bunch of figures. So we've got a Forlom coming, but what else is coming? Are they going to announce more Star Wars this month or not? Am I going to be totally lost? Do I need to just decide, you know what, as much as I love Mafex, I'm going to go for the SHF stuff? Because I really love Star Wars. Like, we all know that Star Wars is Robo's bread and butter. I love original trilogy Star Wars. I have not been in love with Star Wars as of late, with the exception of like a couple seasons of The Mandalorian. I thought Rogue One was really good. I mean, I'm basically like everybody else when we talk about Disney Star Wars. Most people seem to not like the sequel trilogy. I'm in that camp of most people when it comes to the sequel trilogy. Although I am in the opposite camp of most who really liked Andor. I thought Andor was no fun, and it was actually hard for me to keep watching because life is kind of depressing enough. And I'm not saying I have this depressing life or anything, but it always feels like life just wants to kind of hammer you a little bit. And you don't want to be having to sit there and be hammered while you're watching your entertaining, what stuff you're watching that's supposed to be entertaining as well. And so it just felt like drudgery. And so that was where I didn't enjoy Andor as much. But I know a lot of people did. But even the people that did, I don't know that Andor is making a lot of figures that people really dig, you know, that kind of thing. But these old designs from Star Wars are so good. Anyway, that's where I'm at, man. I am totally lost on what to do with Star Wars. I know I don't want Hasbro, but I don't know what Mafex is going to do. And I know SHF has put out some really good stuff that's just a little smaller than a lot of the other stuff I've got. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Let's see what you guys have as far as thoughts are concerned. And then we'll keep going. Hasbro/Marvel should do a Comic Legends wave. Adult collectors would eat that shiz up. We would. We would if they, as far as the Comic Legends, they would still have to give me my ball jointed waist and diaphragm, articulation. LBZ, speaking of SHF, I did get the reissue of Qui-Gon and the Mafex Mando 2.0. I'm going to get the Darth Maul and Phantom Menace Obi-Wan SHF next as well. Mafex, let's see, Bo-Katan is supposed to come out soon. And that's something else. I don't hate all of the Disney characters and designs and all that stuff. Like the Mando stuff, Mando, Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, like all that stuff that Mafex has done that's more the Disney Star Wars, I think that stuff looks really good. Here's what I want. I want to say I'm only getting Star Wars from this one line. But I don't think I'm going to be able to say that. I think that ship sailed. I don't think that's happening as much as I'd like it to. The SHF Ahsoka looks slightly better than the Mafex, in my humble opinion. I'll have to look at that a little more too. That's where the trick is. Like, all right, maybe that's it. I just become awesome with what I'm doing right now, and I don't have to make the decision. I just get all the SHF and all the Mafex, and then life is good. Spaded One, you can't tell me you wouldn't want a Larry Hama action figure complete with mini Tunnel Rat figure, like how they did Sergeant Slaughter. Okay, now if you're talking the G.I. Joe line doing comics, you're 100% right. I would go nuts for a Larry Hama figure. That would be awesome. So I'm good with that. If you're talking the G.I. Joe, like G.I. Joe figures, comic figures, put out by the G.I. Joe classified team, I'd be all in. But if we're talking Marvel figures put out by the Marvel Legends team, I'm a lot less in. Still, I think I'm kind of with you. Like, if they started doing things like, oh man, if we got some classic 90s artists, which we probably wouldn't get because they're not with Marvel anymore, or like, oh man, they had so many great artists way back when. Like, what if they did, oh, why am I blanking? Okay, guys, help me out because this is me being an awful fan because I should not be blanking on this name. Ditko, Steve Ditko. I was totally blanking on Steve Ditko. If they did a Steve Ditko figure, if they did Neil Adams figures, like, oh, a Frank Miller figure with a Frank Miller looking Daredevil, I would go nuts for that kind of stuff. You are not wrong, even though Marvel Legends doesn't have very good articulation. Ironic Bionic. I saw Star Wars in a drive-in here in New Jersey back in the day. Nice. The first one I saw in the theater, I think, was Return of the Jedi. Just because I was too young for the others. But I remember loving Return of the Jedi. All you Ewok haters, psh, you got nothing. Ewoks are rad. See, I'm with you on Andor. Well made and acted, but a tough watch. Yeah. I think that's where it was, you know, it was just like, I've got to watch it, but I kind of don't want to. I don't want to be sad tonight. Darth Vader, I remember you were planning to buy SHF New Hope Crew. Glad they're getting a reissue. I would prefer Chewbacca reissue instead of Stormtrooper, though. Here's the thought. I don't know if they're reissues yet. Like, that's all. Toy Arc fired off these images, and I haven't compared them to some of the to some of the original stuff. So I don't know if they're kind of trying to redo them or if they are just straight up reissuing them. Either way, yes, I am very stoked about that. And if they are redoing them, maybe they'll correct Chewbacca a little bit because I know Chewie was a little smaller than he was supposed to be in comparison to everything else. But yeah, this has me pretty excited. Please let Hasbro license Star Wars to Jaded Toys. Hasbro would have to lose the license to Jada Toys. And I love Jada. I don't know if anybody else saw this. Nerdzoic put out a video where there's speculation, just real light speculation, that Mortal Kombat might be getting done by Jada. Now, if I'm Capcom, I'm of two minds here. If I'm Capcom, if I'm any company that has a lot of faith in my product, I'm saying, sure, go ahead, do whatever you want. You can license totally competing video game properties, but also with the business mind on, if I'm Capcom, I'm thinking, you know, Jada, we've had a pretty good relationship. You know better than to license out Mortal Kombat figures. So we'll see what happens there. It would be cool. It would be cool. And Jada doing Star Wars would be cool as well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. It's an interesting thing to think about. Spaded One. Andor really clicked with me a lot more than any other Star Wars stuff since my childhood. And that's rad, man. I am, like I say, I am stoked when people get really excited about stuff. So nothing against anybody who was a big fan of Andor. It was a tough watch for me. But I know it wasn't a tough watch for everybody because a lot of people talk about how much they loved it. I mixed my Star Wars stuff. Let's see, SHF, Mayfix, Black Series, and they look dope. My problem is I want to pick the right one out the gate. I don't want to be like, okay, I'm going to get the SHF Mando, the Hasbro Mando, and the Mayfix Mando and see which one I like the most. Frankly, because I'm kind of sick of eBay. Like, it doesn't pay to be a seller on eBay. And I don't mean because of fees. I mean because there's really no seller protection. Everything is buyer protection. So I'll get a lot of people going to buy and they'll win an auction and they might be like, oh, never mind, we decided not to get it. And I have no recourse as the seller to say anything. Like, I can't even give them bad feedback because all I can do is list why the transaction was canceled. and then it's over. So eBay's a pain in the butt, which is why I don't want to gamble, because I want to just get the best one right out the gate so I don't have to sell the others. That's where my problem is. Da 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 da. I'd go for Black Series for Army builders, to be honest, and some figures that weren't or are not likely to be released anytime soon by SHF Mayfex, or like, i.e. Darth Malgus, etc. Yeah, I totally understand that, like especially aliens, putting some aliens in the background and everything, but a figure like Malgus, for me to want to get him from Hasbro, he's got to come with extras, and he really doesn't come with extras. So I'm not so into that kind of thing. That's really where Hasbro lets me down, is no extra hands, no extra weapons, stuff like that. If they had extra hands, that would make all the difference. Like if they had flat hands that they could do this, like hold their guns, hold the front of their guns with some flat hands and all that, that would make an enormous difference. My method is, even when it came to Stormtroopers. Let's see, we'll skip this here real quick. We'll come back to you, John. See, Troopers, Droids, Black Series, Jedi and Important Characters, Mayfex, SHF, let's see, Black Series mixed. Ah, see, you guys know what's up. You've been doing it, but for me, I'm like, oh, and I'm not even like all that. I'm not even all that like that. I just want, I want it simple. I want to be one line and I'm good. Do waves with an artist figure and then just figs in that artist style would be cool, but maybe too niche. It would definitely be too niche, especially right now when it seems like a lot of that stuff isn't doing as well as it once was. But it would still be cool. Like, I'd be all over that. LBZ, I like that rumor. MK going to Jada. Yeah, that would be cool. And I loves me my Jada. Yeah, my bad. These are not reissue. Let's see. They'll brand these as a classic version because of Japan law. If they do this release as a reissue, they must sell those for 2016-17 prices due to law. Okay, I have noticed that they'll re-release something and they charge a price that looks like a few years old. I did not know that was Japanese law. Thank you for that. Now I kind of want them to be reissues. Jada is greater than all other $25 lines. I would agree. Yeah, you know what? Overall, I'm going to say yes. Because I was going to throw G.I. Joe in there, but with G.I. Joe not always coming with extra hands and heads, yeah, I'm going to give it to Jada. So that's why they'll re-release as a classic version with changes. Okay. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I wish I'd known that about Japanese law. No, you can choose one. For example, for Mando, Mayfex 2.0 is definitive. Now see, done. Thank you for that. I am in. That's what I need. I need somebody to just come in and say, for New Hope Luke, this one. For Mando from season 2, this one. For Yoda, this one. You know, that kind of thing. See, I quit Mercari due to new buyer fees. Yep. Yeah, it seems Mercari's been doing things like that too. I've never used Mercari, but I'm just kind of over selling things online. I just don't want to do it anymore. I would love a new line of figures for Thundar the Barbarian. Kirby did a lot of the character sheets and storyboards for the cartoon. I did not know that. That's awesome. Wonder if Jada would do, ooh, maybe Jada does Thundar, and then we get some crackle that way. Or maybe NECA does Thundar, and we get crackle that way. See, I have no desire to get Thundar the Barbarian figures, and then you said that Kirby did that, and now I'm going, oh, I kind of want Thundar the Barbarian figures now. All right, so we've stayed on 3PO long enough. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay, I couldn't get it to move. And here we go with this Darth. Oh, that is the definitive Darth Vader from what I've seen. That thing's necessary. Like, that might be the Darth Vader. And I didn't think they'd get much better than the Return of the Jedi Vader, but he does have the plastic going on his robe there, like the cloth covering his legs. That on that Return of the Jedi Vader from SHF is plastic, and this looks to correct that. Oh man, it's so good. Vader is so good. Yep. And then we have R2, and who doesn't love R2? Like, I know that Hasbro came out with their R2, and he looks good. He looks pretty good, and looks like he's the right size and everything, but SHF just takes it to a whole new level. And I am at that point in my collecting, not that I want to stop or anything. I want to get more, in fact. But when I get stuff, I want it to be definitive. I want it one and done. And that's something else that Hasbro just doesn't do because it screws up with the way that they like to market their stuff. With SHF, hey, here's R2. You want the definitive R2? Here you go. And that makes me happy. And then we've got the Stormtrooper. And my rule for Stormtroopers and Army Builders for a long time, just like LBZ was saying earlier, is do not get expensive troop builders. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, especially when Hasbro's Stormtrooper is really good. Here's the thing. I want the SHF Stormtroopers. They've got better accessories. They've got better stuff. They'll probably move way better. I love Star Wars, guys. I do. I love the original stuff. And like, I want figures with a lot of hands. I want figures I can do a lot with when it comes to photos. And yeah, I think this is the one. I think if I'm going to just blow money like an idiot, when I know there's another option for a Stormtrooper out there that's really good with Hasbro's Stormtrooper, I'm still going to go out there and blow money and try and pick up several of these just because it's the Stormtrooper, you know? Like, I want Stormtroopers with extra stuff. I want to be able to have Stormtroopers taking swings at Han Solo or holding the gun the proper way and all that stuff, you know? I don't want them to all just sit there with trigger hands wide open. So, yeah, I love it. I basically, I need help, but I love it anyway. You are welcome for that Mafex 2.0. Yeah, I will be getting that for sure. Mr. McDysentery, true. G.I. Joe is awesome and worth the 25, but the heads and hands is the big deal for me. Yep. That's where we're both sitting at. I like it. That is one thing I gotta say about Jada. It's like, hey, you're getting a Jada figure. Guess what? They're gonna come with extra heads and hands, like just standard. I love that. Jada Thundar, instant buy. Yeah, now I think it would be there. I think I would be there just because I had no idea Kirby was involved in those designs. Yeah, he's dope. That Vader is gorgeous. See, that Vader had the removable helmet. The one I have has the removable helmet. I doubt this one does, just because this is the version from A New Hope. But yeah, the Return of the Jedi one I have definitely has the removable helmet. It's very cool. Like, I genuinely thought I would never replace that Vader, and then I saw this thing. I wish they did the same thing last year for Return of the Jedi's 40th. Upgraded Return of the Jedi Vader would be king. I would be a fan. Yeah, and that's all they'd have to do is just give them the cloth skirt piece. Like, and that would be perfection. That's it. Like, that Vader is king until I get this Vader. Spaded one. I don't think so, since we didn't see Vader's face in New Hope. Yeah, that's kind of my thing. With Mafex and SHF, they seem to keep things very movie specific. So if they ever do a Return of the Jedi, like another Return of the Jedi Darth, I'm sure we get that. And like I say, I think that Return of the Jedi Darth is perfection. All they need to do is that skirt piece, and they might. I don't know how Japanese law would work like that, where they're just like, you know what, we're leaving it all the same, except we're replacing this plastic with some cloth. I don't know if that'd work out and they could charge modern prices or not. No, you don't need help. You need more money to buy figs. Don't we all? We do all need more money to buy figs. Nah, man, like I'm yeah, that stormtrooper. I am so happy to see these back. Like I am it's stupid how happy I am to see that like the original trilogy characters are coming back. I had so much fun with the original trilogy when I was a kid. And I've had so much fun with some of the stuff in recent years, but this was where the love all started. Like when I think back to the first things I drew, and I was somebody like my degree was painting and drawing, or is painting and drawing. I'm a terrible painter, by the way, but I could draw. And the reason that I got into drawing is because I got mad at myself because I sucked at staying within the line. So I thought I'll draw my own lines, you know? And the first stuff I remember really trying to draw were Miss Pac Man and Luke Skywalker. Like Luke Skywalker with his green lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. Like, those were my earliest memories of trying to draw and be really creative, was like Miss Pac, like I joked that Miss Pac-Man was my first crush. But like honestly, like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Luke Skywalker, this was the stuff I was trying to draw as a kid. Like this is deep nostalgia for me. And I'm just so happy to see it out there. Juan Robles, saludos amigos, saludos sir. Thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. What are you thinking? What are you thinking for the good stuff you've seen in the past week? Let's see, if Bandai has a same license with Hasbro, I'm pretty sure we get more characters from them plus cheaper, such as Troopers, that has no cost for actors license. We would get Troopers for 30 to 40-ish. That would be sweet if we could start getting that. That would be awesome. Because I can't remember when these were coming out, what were they, like 2016, 2017? Were they around 50 or 60 bucks, somewhere in there? Like I know obviously on the secondary they're a lot more than that now, but I don't remember. I was just really stoked. Oh, yeah, I'm so excited about this. It is stupid. I mean, it's stupid in the most fun way ever because this is just really cool. And I like the idea. Like I've taken some pictures of my Return of the Jedi Darth Vader with some Hasbro stormtroopers. I like the black and white look. So you got your big bad all dressed in black, and you've got his troopers all dressed in white. Like it's just a really cool look for photography. Just makes me happy. And oh, when you've got a largely like black clad character and then a bunch of characters dressed in white, and you use red light to really hit them, oh, it looks so ominous and so menacing. So of course you have to have Darth Vader's lightsaber all lit up red. It just doesn't get any better. Break something. What's up, sir? Thank you for stopping by. What are you thinking about the SHF stuff that's coming back? Well, maybe not reissues, but you know, I'm stoked. And now, let's see. When I saw this Vader, I was like, get off, Bandai. We need other characters reissue. We don't need more Vaders. Plus a look. Hey. Hey. This might be the Vader, though. And I know every time somebody comes out with a new Vader, people are like, this could be the Vader. I'm telling you, the Return of the Jedi Vader that they made would be the Vader if he had the cloth skirt. So now I'm looking at this Darth Vader, made by the same company that did the Return of the Jedi Vader, with a cloth skirt, thinking this could legitimately be the Vader. And I'm so excited. It's insane that I'm that excited about this. Or not. Maybe it's just I don't know. It's just been inside me to need this kind of thing for so long. Exact Kenobi Vader, but today I'll buy this Vader. It looks awesome. Yeah. Dave, beard is looking good. Thank you, Harry. I appreciate it. Although it's itchy. It's itchy. It's got a, yeah. Like I go to the same grocery store a lot because I live really close to it. One of the people there that works there is like, man, your beard's really filling out. People are noticing, apparently. I guess it's been that I've been clean shaven my entire life. So, yeah, still kind of bugs me, but I'm getting a little more used to it. It'll be coming off probably, I would guess, within a week to somewhere between like a week to a month. I'm hoping. We'll see. But it's not as annoying as I thought it was going to be. Mr. Matson, I'm not my way home, or I'm on my way home to open my Savage Crucible. Very nice. Lemurian, right? I replaced plastic skirt on my Return of the Jedi Vader, but I still prefer their redoing offer. Until then, this New Hope Vader will do fine. Credits will do fine. See, I'm on my way home to open. I figured that one out. We're good. I'm trying to get better at that. It seems other people have been doing live streams for so long where they don't even break. Like they totally notice the typo and just keep going. I'm not quite there yet. Figuarts makes great toys. Not my scale, but they're great quality figs. It's funny. I was just on Geek Dad Life last night talking Star Wars. Having non-Hasbro options is great. Yeah, man, I'm so excited about this. Like, we talked about Forlom, I think a couple weeks ago now from Mafex, and now we're seeing all these from SHF. And I'm just going, oh my God, original trilogy stuff. I'm sick in the head. I'm not, because this stuff's rad. But yeah, I'm just really excited about all this. See, enjoy, Matthew. Open one Saturday. Which one did you get, Rick? Was it the Lemurian? Like, I know somebody that's in the chat quite a bit was talking about getting that one. And I do need to get on so I can start looking at more of this stuff. I haven't seen, like I saw Nerdzoic's video today talking about the potential for Jada to have the Mortal Kombat license. And I started Veeb's discussion with Brian Flynn, but I got about 5 minutes in and just was like, nah, I'm good. I'll hold off. So I just haven't been watching a lot of ToyTuber content lately. Do you have any guesses when they'll open these guys up for pre-order? I have no guesses. Like when I saw these on ToyArk, they basically said, hey, here you go. All we have are images. We have no idea what's happening with these. Now, one of the dangers with SHF is oftentimes they'll show prototypes and they'll even show production photos like this and never make the figures. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but these are also all figures that will sell. Like, there's guaranteed sales here. So I think they'll probably make them. It's not like, I mean, a lot of the sequel trilogy, it sounds like a lot of companies that were making those figures ended up getting kind of burned because people just didn't want to buy the figures. So these are like evergreen Star Wars characters that seem to be universally loved. So I have no reason to believe that SHF won't make these. Let's see. Yeah, that's something else, man. I came across the fact that Geek Dad Life was on last night and still ended up doing something else. It's weird. I'm using the Galactic Valor figures as quasi skiff guards. Those figs look great. Galactic Valor figures. I don't know if I know what those are. Not cool, man. Not cool. Hey, did you notice NECA is selling the Friday the 13th Crystal Lake accessory set on their website? I did not notice that. Hang on, let's go. Let's see here. NECA store. Don't worry, I'll come back to you guys. We'll get there so you can see what I'm looking at. The NECA store. Okay. I like when I do that, like when it shows that I'm going to need to put something else up there and I back way up. I'm like, no, nobody needs to see this. All right. No, join our mailing list. Guys, this is a deep, dark secret. I'm not on NECA's mailing list. Oh, wow. Front and center. Let's take a look at this bad boy. If it loads. Okay, that's cool. Oh, I can't wait to get to, oh God, that is way cool. Just the set, and I don't know anything about like Friday the 13th. I mean, aside from Jason here, but just, I love all these, like, it's like an accessory set. I mean, obviously, but I want to see. I was hoping they were going to get to an image that just shows everything. Maybe that was, hang on. Maybe they did get to that image, and I was just hoping that Jason came with it too. Or not. Yeah, Jason. That's pretty sweet. Vader, prototypes might not open pre-orders, but such as this case, they always release. Yeah, that's the one thing though. Like, remember when they showed off Moff Gideon? And Gideon was like, that was a real shot. Like, that was definitely a product shot that they were prepping for release, and he never got shown again. I think he was supposed to come out around the same time that The Mandalorian Luke Skywalker came out. And I probably would have gotten that Moff Gideon. See, no ankle rockers are a big problem for SHF Vaders, by the way. I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I messed with mine. I gotta mess with, I mean, I'm sure you know. But I didn't have problems posing him, probably because he's Darth Vader. And I don't generally put him in like these super dynamic poses. But if I noticed it, that would definitely bug me for sure. Let's see. Yeah, I might need to go back and check mine out. I probably should have busted them out for this discussion. All right, guys, we're about set for the night, but I do want to go see one more thing. Just because we've been doing this lately, I want to go to BBTS and I want to find the deals. Just so we can all see what's going on, see if there's something here that anybody wants to pick up that they might not know about. We've got Archive Collection Palpatine. So it looks like all this is Hasbro. Oh, wait. We've got a Rebel Tech 3PO for $27. That seems crazy. Vintage Collection Lobot, Vintage Collection Stormtrooper, Stormtrooper Commander, my bad. Dr. Evazan, I never quite understood how to pronounce his name. Annie. Dr. Afra. Everybody says she's a cool character. I need to read that comic. Ayla Sakura. For a while, I thought that I might need to get all the Black Series Jedi figures that I hadn't gotten. And sometimes I still feel that way, but they don't come with force hands. And like I say, for figures these days, I want to pick up stuff that is definitive. Like if I pick up an Ayla Sakura, I never want to have to pick up another Ayla Sakura. Let's see, Queen Amidala, vintage. Okay, so obviously they went totally Star Wars on this. Mando Dio, Star Killer Base, Rey and Kylo versus in a throwdown. Gaming Greats, Riot Scout Trooper. The Razor Crest. Guys, and it's a model kit. So what you can do is you can build the Razor Crest and then you can hold it up and drop it to simulate it getting blown up, blown apart. Dark Side Ray lightsaber. Yeah, I gotta say, there doesn't look like much here. Although the Empire Strikes Back Yoda fountain would be kind of fun to have. For only $202.49. Millennium Falcon desk light. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, now we can see the stuff that sold out, which wasn't tough. Let's see, it wasn't tons. Look at this. Like, Darth Maul is just popular, no doubt. Because this is a jumbo figure, like something that I would never in a million years even consider. But he sold out. And I think he's a jumbo, like 5 points, 5 POA type figure. That's a cool head, though. That looks good. Yeah, there you go. That was all the deals that BBTS had going on. Woo! My face is really close again. Gideon is not a big deal, but they show Grievous together with Jar Jar, and they open pre-orders for Jar Jar, not for Grievous. Kind of funny and ironic at the same time. It makes me sad. Jar Jar is not, like, Grievous was cool. Like, he had a cool look, at least. Jar Jar made me sad. I don't like BBTS offers this year for Star Wars Black Series. Yeah, it didn't seem that great, but, it's, they're offering what they offer just because they can't get rid of it. You see Valaverse's 1,000 figure reveal, or 100th figure reveal. I did not. I even saw that video was up and I didn't click it. I'm telling you, I've been a very bad nerd. Let's see here. See what we can find. All right. I'm seeing all the questions. I'm seeing customs. I might just need to find the video unless you got a name for me or something I can look for. Let's see. Oh dear. See, I love that he started by trolling with ocular serpent. Oh no. Oh no. Star Actions offers are nice. You should check out. I might need to do that. See, Bone Collector. Oh man, I'll definitely have to check that after the stream. Just because I think I'm running out of StreamYard space, so I've got to delete a few videos from there so I can keep going. So with that said, everybody, thank you for stopping by, checking things out. It is always massively appreciated, especially as I've been saying, since I haven't been able to do a whole lot lately when it comes to actual stuff online. I need to get back to that. It's driving me crazy. But that's what I've got for this one. Again, thanks for stopping by. Have fun and happy snapping. See ya. I will now hit end stream and I will hit it again.